Superheroes are like us in a lot of ways. Superpowers aside, sometimes heroes let emotions get in the way, which leads to feuds with other heroes, and throughout all of comics, there are heroes that have hated each other from time to time. Which is understandable. I mean, sometimes you get in fights and you don't talk to people for a while. It happens. Sometimes they make up, sometimes they don't. But, come on. Who doesn't like a good superhero feud? Hey guys, welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I am your host David Raff, and today we are going to be talking about the top 10 heroes who hate the X-Men. Number 10, Punisher. To be quite frank, you get it? Because his name is Frank Castle, and be frank is a saying, and I'm definitely the first person to ever make that joke. Like, ever. Okay, but back to my main point. Punisher hates a lot of people, but he has feuded with, the X-Men from time to time. Over the years, they have disagreed. Punisher has a very clear way of doing things, and that doesn't always line up with how the X-Men operate. He's also had beef with Wolverine on several occasions, which leads the two to fight each other. I mean, the Punisher even shot him in a not so pleasant place. Oh man, just thinking about that, yikes. Like, I know he can regenerate, but ouch. That's, ugh. Number 9, Gambit. Now this one is interesting because Gambit has been a part of the X-Men. He's generally one of the more famous ones, but that hasn't stopped him from getting, annoyed with them. It's even gotten to the point where he turned on the team before because he believed he was in the right and they were in the wrong. Though, he was tricked by Mystique, and to be fair, he did start out as a villain of sorts and eventually made his way over to the good side. So he wasn't raised in the X-Mansion and like a lot of the other mutants. Also, like Punisher, he also has a rivalry with Wolverine. The two of them have had some very intense duels in the Danger Room, and I mean intense. Number 8, Iron Man. This one isn't a big surprise. Tony has clashed with a lot of superheroes. Civil War. One mutant who Iron Man has clashed with more so than others is Namor. The two have fought multiple times throughout the years, and during the Civil War event, Iron Man specifically told the X-Men just to stay out of it because clearly they didn't all agree. Number 7, Spider-Man. Spider-Man is a likable guy, but that doesn't mean he gets along with everyone. He's had disagreements with the X-Men a few times. I mean, who hasn't, right? Clearly this list. Mostly with Wolverine, again, when the two of them were both Avengers. They were always bickering and could barely stand to be in the same room. Also, in season 2 of the 90s Spider-Man animated series, oh god, man, that show. Love that show so much. During the show, Spider-Man had a run-in with the X-Men in season 2, and when he started to have a problem with mutation. And let's just say things didn't go very smoothly. Multiple fights broke out between Spidey and multiple members of the X-Men. Number 6, Captain Marvel. Carol Danvers isn't the biggest fan of the X-Men. Well, not so much the X-Men in general, more like one specific person, Rogue. The two of them have had a long history of hating each other. When Carol Danvers returned to the Marvel Universe after a brief period away, she didn't have her memories or powers. She was later brought to Xavier to see if he could unlock her memories. And he did. Mostly. There were some that were permanently lost, and it turns out the culprit was none other than a teenage Rogue, who at the time was not working with the X-Men. Rogue used her abilities on Carol far longer than she should have, which ended up wiping her memories and taking away her abilities. Carol ended up getting, her newer cosmic powers later on, and Rogue eventually joined the X-Men. And you would think that time would have healed all those wounds, but no. The two still don't really like each other all that much. Number 5, the Fantastic Four. Over the years, all members of the Fantastic Four have had some sort of issue with the X-Men. But the reason I'm choosing to group them together as one is because of a fairly recent storyline between the two Marvel teams. It has to do with Reed and Sue's son, Franklin Richards, who is a mutant, a very powerful one. And in this new story, the two teams are going against each other because they both have a different idea of what to do with him. The X-Men believe that he belongs with them, but they also secretly want to study him because his powers are slowly depleting, and Xavier is worried it could start to have effects on other mutants. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four believe Franklin should stay with them because he is a part of their family, but Franklin believes that his father is lying to him. Ooh, drama. Reed is trying to look for a cure to stop Franklin's powers from depleting, but Franklin believes Reed secretly wants his powers to be gone forever. Number 4, Blade. Blade's feud with the X-Men comes mostly from the Curse of the Mutant storyline, where Blade and the X-Men were working together to help with the vampire problem. Needless to say, things didn't go very well. Blade didn't really get along with a lot of them because Blade's mission is to kill vampires. But when Jubilee turned into one, Blade felt that, he had to take matters into his own hands and, just kill her. But obviously the X-Men disagreed and wanted to protect their own. Number 3, Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is a complicated one because technically she is a mutant and was the daughter of Magneto. But then Marvel kind of changed her origin so that she wasn't anymore. It's all a little bit weird. She is also primarily an Avenger and even ended up with, fellow Avenger Vision, and they had their own kids. But her disagreements with the X-Men have varied over the years. There was even a point during the House of M storyline where she used her powers and essentially took out almost the whole mutant community. So that's pretty big, if you ask me. And I know you didn't ask, I wanted to say it anyway. Number 2, the Hulk. Hulk doesn't get along with a lot of heroes. We all know that. To be fair, a lot of times people are kind of unfair toward him. I mean, they did send him away, which gave us Planet Hulk and World War Hulk. But his feud with the X-Men has been the cause of some very major fights, specifically Wolverine. Man, I am sensing a pattern here. Why is it always so many people are just, I don't like the X-Men, but more specifically, Wolverine. The Hulk versus Wolverine fights are usually always legendary. I mean, that was how Wolverine was first introduced during the Incredible Hulk 181. The two of them fought in the forests of Canada. Oh, Canada. Hulk even ripped Wolverine in half in Ultimate Hulk vs. Wolverine. Their feud also spawned the 2009 animated film Hulk vs. Wolverine. Is it weird that I kinda want them just to keep hating each other? I know, we get so many epic moments that way. Although, it is cool when they do decide to occasionally team up together. Number 1, Deadpool. Deadpool. Man, seriously. Deadpool's just awesome. He's just one of those unique and crazy characters, and not just in the Marvel universe, but in comics in general. There's no one else like him. Deadpool and the X-Men have had lots of encounters over the years, mostly because, he doesn't really agree with what they do, and they don't really agree with what he does. It's also been the inspiration of the Deadpool and X-Men live action films. In Deadpool 2, the main X-Men are specifically hiding from him because they just don't want to associate themselves with him. And even when he does join the team, he ends up killing someone, and Colossus, Colossus just doesn't take that well. So at the end of the day, the two of them don't really get along, and to Deadpool, that's completely fine. So there you have it, guys. The top 10 superheroes who hate the X-Men. What heroes do you guys think have clashed the most with the X-Men over the years? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I am your host, David Rapp, and thank you so much for watching.